Straight up Tennessee family, what is happening? It's your boy Ruck in the building, man. It is a great Sunday because Tennessee has called a W. Game number one, Tennessee gets the victory over Syracuse there in the Aflac kickoff game. W- Interesting game, a very kind of up and down, like how to be happy, but also how to clean up a whole lot of things defensively. We're diving all into it tonight. 45-26, Tennessee gets a W. Who would have thought that on a Sunday we would be complaining tonight more about the defense than we will be about the offense. A lot of great things from Joey Aguilar, a lot of great things from this defense, but we have a lot of not necessarily questions, but we don't even have a ton of necessarily concerns. We have a lot of little minute details that we have to clean up, and the boys are going to dive into it tonight. So I got my guy. I'm sorry, I got my guy C2, and I got my boy Dylan. It's gonna be a fun night. Y'all get ready, get your popcorn. We live tonight, man, for the next day episode. You already know what it is, man. It's straight up Tennessee, baby. Welcome to the Sunday show. It's the next day. Let's ride.
Tennessee's the program to keep an eye on. If you want to know which program that's not currently at the head table of college football, it's Tennessee.
Now Meshack's got to go. A fire! He needs a strike. Burton needs a bolt. Swing and a miss. And for the first time, Rocky Top reaches the mountaintop of college baseball.
What's happening, good people? It's your boy Ruck in the building, joined by my guys C2 and my guys Dylan. Y'all know what to do, man. It's the top of the show. Like, comment, subscribe, and join the channel, man. We are soaring, people. I'm talking soaring to new heights. You people are not just falling in love with the content, you're showing love to it. Sitting at 1,233 subs here on a Sunday. Man, let's get this thing to 1,300 before we get to Georgia. We got 2 weeks, y'all. Like, it can happen. Like, why are we sitting here settling? We're not going to settle. Let's go get 1,300 and let's go do this thing, man. A lot of good things we'll dive into tonight, but off the top, guys, y'all need to go ahead and hop in the channel, hop in and join the channel, man. Click that button right there to the right and hit join. If you can't see it, let us know, man. We'll get the link sent over to you so that you can join the channel. Let's do it this way, boys. Opening thoughts. Let's not talk offense. Let's not talk defense. It's not about none of that right this second. Let's just go opening thoughts. When you looked at the game, give us your opening thoughts. C2, let's start with you first. What did you think of Tennessee's victory 45-26 over Syracuse yesterday?
I think there's obviously things we could have done better, right? But I'm also not necessarily mad at that. I'm okay with us having things we could do better after a win, especially with Georgia coming up in 2 weeks. I'd rather the coaches have things that they can kind of crack down on and coach hard on rather than be Georgia where they just kind of walked all over Marshall. And if you're a coach trying to help them improve, it's like you weren't really challenged. So what are you going to tell them to do to improve? Whereas we've got plenty of things we can work on, which is both good and bad, I guess. But all I got to say is Joey here in a couple of games is going to make us all forget the name of that other quarterback who used to play here, but had to run away for more. Oh, wait, less money, worse team, less viewers, less people in the stands.
See, C2 can never follow the rules. Like I said opening thoughts on Tennessee and Syracuse. And then this man started talking about Nika Amaliva. Come on, man. Dylan. We'll get to him and his little 136 yards. That was all too familiar, by the way. Like, that was just all too familiar, the whole performance. But anyway, Dylan, opening thoughts on Tennessee's victory.
Yeah, it wasn't at all what I expected, but that's a good thing. It's good to have a change of pace and to be tested in ways that we haven't been tested before. And props to Syracuse, man. Fern Brown, he's a heck of a coach. and they tested us. We went young, and they really, really tested us in those areas. But without diving too deep, that's about all I got to say on the baseline.
Like let's kind of dive into that last point you mentioned because I felt the same way as far as with not just Fran. Like I felt like Fran had the juice, right? Like he's got that like something that kind of nasty like edge that you really want in a head coach. Like that's a guy when I think about when I was getting recruited, like I would go play for Fran Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like he's got that kind of dog eat dog mentality. He's not nervous he's not. He's giving Tennessee praises in his press conference only to go back to his team and literally say, F them. Like, I don't care nothing about them. We finna go try to beat their tail. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how great of a guy he is personally. But then to go back to your boys and say, listen, it's time for us to go handle business. And to be honest, man, going back to like what you said, Dylan, about Frank Brown, great coach. I think what people don't realize is that system worked to win them 10 games last year. And it truly is a plug and play system. Like, while Angeli, man, like he didn't play great, but he didn't play bad. And the honest truth is, I think he was just, to be honest, he was hella shell shocked the first 20 minutes of the game. Like, oh my God, these guys are so fast. Like, I genuinely have never seen speed from any positions like he saw last or yesterday. I shouldn't say last night, but I think he was so shell shocked to start, and that's why he couldn't get anything going. A lot of people say if you take away the first quarter, Syracuse would have won the game, but that's just not how football works. Like Tennessee has historically with Josh Heupel been known for what? Fast starts. If Tennessee gets the tempo going, which we had going, we'll talk about that soon, and we get that fast start that we want, the game is over at the first quarter. Like, especially when you're playing a lesser opponent. Now, if that was, I can't even say if that was Bama anymore because Lord have mercy. Anyway, we'll talk about that later on. But, like, if that was Georgia, right, and you're up 17-0, you feel good, but you still are like, man, these jokers can come back, right? Because that's what Alabama did to us in 2022. We were up 28-10 in 2022 and almost lost the game. Let's be real. So,
well, how much were we up on Georgia last year too? Because it was very similar score, I think, to the Syracuse game.
I think at halftime it was what, 17-10?
Yeah, that or 17-7.
Yeah, it was something like that. And then Georgia just they started to expose the exact thing that we've just not been great at, and so
even not taking out the like, oh, if you remove the first quarter, Syracuse would have won. Well, the only reason some of the guys we put in got playing time is because we were ahead by 3 scores. Like Dwayne Morris isn't getting put in the game in the third quarter to run the ball when we've got a 3-headed monster if we aren't up by as many points as we are. And
and see,
I'll get into specific notes on that later, but
I think for me, I understand what Hyper was doing. But I think you have to know who you can do that against. Like ETSU, brother, yes. It's a Power 4 school. Like, I don't care who they are. It's a Power 4 school that you need to, like, let's play our guys. And literally, like, until we're up 5 scores, I'm not playing these young cats, especially on defense the way we were. Like, now some of those cats played amazing. Ty Redmond, oh my God, we'll talk about defense in a second. But boys, let's go this route. Let's just go this route to start the episode because this could go left, right, up, down, around. We can be on the dang on Ferris wheel if we don't just have some order tonight. But before we do that, let's hit the chat. The boy Noah James in the chat says, go Big Orange. Every time Nico missed a throw, I laughed. Every time he got sacked, I laughed harder. Yeah, Joe. Noah, that's amazing. Artez. Laughing my butt off, Noah. Devin Arnold, Tennessee won the trade. Go Big Orange. Yeah, I agree with it. And Devin also says, finally, another quarterback out there he will go through. He's starting this off perfectly, guys. Let's just go through our first impressions of Joey Aguilar. Obviously, was a great night for Joey. And as bad as I hate to say it this way, but he did what we needed him to do. He managed the game. He didn't go out and do anything extremely well. He didn't go out and do anything extremely bad. He was just even keeled, which that's what I thought we were getting in this guy based off of everything that all his teammates and his players and his coaches had to say about him. He was just even keeled, confident, and can go and make the plays. And so 16 of 28, a little over 50%, 3 touchdowns, and the biggest number of the day is what? 0 interceptions. Dylan, what did you think about Joey Aguilar and his first time in the orange and white?
Yeah, I was really impressed. He looked exactly like he was sold to us, a veteran. He was very calm in the pocket. He was very poised. He was on time with his timing routes. It was like a cold drink of water after walking through the desert for 2 years, because that's what we've basically been doing with the quarterback play that we've had. But it just feels so good to have a guy at the signal caller spot that we can trust again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
So I graded him based on this. Like, he probably deserves a higher score since it was his first real game in the system, but I graded him as if it wasn't his first real game in the system, and I gave him a 7.5 out of 10. The reason for that is there were some high throws, which I attribute to just lack of chemistry between him and Brazel and Matthews specifically, because his chemistry with Staley is unreal already. And then I appreciate that he wants to lower his shoulder and run through people. But, brother, if you get injured, slide. I beg of you. Unless it is 4th down and we need that first down to win the game, please slide. Please.
Yeah, you couldn't really tell him to hook it or slide either. So you kind of got to take them as you can. Like against guys like that, I'm like, get you 1 or 2, but then just start running out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? But for me, man, I was very pleased. I think being in the stadium, you're getting a different vantage point. You're not seeing on TV all of the huddle command. You're not seeing what they're doing on the sideline when they come off the field, right? Like the biggest thing I saw from Joey Aguilar that let me know that this is the guy for Tennessee, that fumble that we had on the mesh point. He looked at the ball on the ground. He knew it was a fumble. He turned. They don't show this on TV. He turned. He clapped his hands like, dang it. Ran straight to the sideline. Guess what he did? Pulled the entire team together. That's on me. Because what happened was, if you go back and watch it you watch it on TV, you can see that he got his eyes up before he could get that ball out of the point. So his eyes were, you can see what was going on. Star Thomas was running a flat route, and Mike Matthews was actually kind of running a short post, which the post was covered, but Star was going to be wide open. And so he had already had his eyes up looking at the backer, and that's where that mesh point fumble came from. And so to bounce back as quickly as he did, it let me know, man, like, that's all I needed to see about this guy. And, I think another great thing is, I don't know what Jordan Rogers said on one of the SEC telecasts. I guess it was a little over a week ago, that Joey doesn't make the easy throws look easy. Did y'all? I didn't understand that, because that's not what I saw.
No, not at all.
That 70-yard ball to Braylon Staley.
Yeah, and that, even that one. Like, even that ball, right? Like, that's not what people would categorize as an easy throw. But I'm talking, like, let's talk about the 15-yard dig to Staley. Let's talk about Brazzle in the comeback routes, or the post-sit routes that we were hitting him and Braylon on. Let's talk about all of the perfect balls he was throwing to Mike Matthews that Mike Matthews was dropping. Mike Matthews should have had 6 catches yesterday, boys. 6. He dropped the ball 4 times. He had 2 catches. Like, you want to be wide receiver 1? Dude, catch the ball, bro. You are a 5-star, dude. You have to catch the football. Yeah. And so
some of those were high, but he should still absolutely be catching those balls.
Listen, brother, my tight ends coach, I can't say wide receiver coach because I didn't play receiver. My tight ends coach, when I was growing up, said, I don't care if the ball was left, right, high, low. If your hands touch the ball, it's a catch. Like that's on us because
For sure.
we're like they're paid to do this, brother Bear. Like they are paid to catch the football. And when you
Yeah.
don't catch the football, when it's there, yes, it could be a little tall. Like, but it wasn't these. I didn't see I didn't see many balls that were high that just weren't catchable, other than the one screened out to Mike Mack. There was one ball that was to Mike Matthews that was really tall, and I'm cool with that. Let it sail. But every other ball, I'm thinking about the 2nd and 7, second quarter. Joey, it's a quick RPO to Mike Matthews. Joey threw it like down and left, hit him right in the hand and drop. You got to
Yeah.
catch the ball, dude. I'm sorry, brother.
No, yeah, I agree with that. I was just saying I could understand 1, maybe 2 drops from them being slightly high, but the 4 he dropped was unacceptable.
Tennessee Junior says that was fun to watch again. Those comments were stupid. Yeah, Jordan Rogers is. I had so much respect for him because I actually think out of SEC Nation, without Swagoo being there now, he's probably the best thing on SEC Nation. Because Tebow's a homer. Jordan Rogers doesn't have anything to call home because Vanderbilt's trash. So, like, you know, he's about the only one that analytic wise that I'm like, you know what, dude, he's actually got good points. But talking about how Joey Aguilar doesn't make the easy throws make the easy throws look easy, and then I'm seeing them yesterday. I'm like, wait till we start hitting those more often. Wait till we that's game 1,
Yep.
right? And a total, fellas. When we're talking about what I'm characterizing as drops are when it touches the receiver's hands, regardless of what type of throw it was. Okay. There were 7. Sorry, there were 8. Let me explain. There were 8 of them. Joey was 16 of 28, right? That would have made him 24 of 28 with those catches. And now we're talking about 86%.
Yeah.
By just catching the football. And some of I think it was 4 of the 8 were right in their hands. So it's like, you gotta do something for your QB, man. Like that's what good receivers will do. Let's talk a little bit. We'll come back to Joey. I'm excited about. Let me say this. I think we can all say that he exceeded expectations, and we're excited about Joey Aguilar.
Absolutely.
I think we're excited to see, dude, Joey, next week, go put you a couple 50-yarders on him, and let's get up out the game. Okay. Let's get up out the game. And while the game is still going on, you got the tablet with Georgia film on it. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know, it's too early in the season for this to kind of be like a lull game. Like, we're going to go out and beat the crap out of ETSU next week. Okay. Yeah. That's what's going to happen. But what I do think is get your guys going early. Let's get some tuds on the ball. Let's get up 30, 35, and then let's go play these young guys the whole night. Let's just see what they have, get them some game experience, get them into a place where, all right, cool. We also have reps with these guys. And if it's one game, you're not really worried about earning a red shirt. You know what I'm saying? Play. Let all the guys play. And then let's get ready for Georgia. But let's talk a little bit about this. Let's just talk about the tight ends, the receivers, the offensive line. Let's kind of loop them all into each other. Dylan, you were talking about this a little earlier in our group chat. Didn't see a ton from the tight ends, and I kind of liked it in a sense because we know that that's not what they want to do. They want to get the football into those guys' hands. Miles Kisselman did have 2 catches, one nasty one-handed grab. Ethan Davis had one hit him in the hands that he did drop. But brother, those 2 guys were blocking the heck out of people. I haven't seen guys block like that from that position. Y'all, I was like, this is what we need. And so what do you think, Dylan? Let's go to you first. Offensively, minus Joey Aguilar, add the running backs in there as well, because my God, we got a 3-headed monster back there. What did you think about the total offensive performance?
In total, I think the running backs are obviously going to be our best position, but second best to me is offensive line. You got to remember that this is a makeshift offensive line, and we didn't learn that till about 15 minutes before kick. David Sanders is
Yeah,
out. We slide Jesse Perry out from guard to tackle. Then we bring in Sham to run left guard, and then we put Wendell Moy at right guard. And we
bro.
had guys
Listen, hold on.
rotating in and
I,
out.
I love how Sham exclusively can only play left guard. Like it's like I've never seen him play anything else than left.
Yeah, it irritates me too because he's 6'7", 330. That is a tackle body if I've ever seen
Why?
one.
Hey, but
But
he played his tail off, dude.
yeah, and I guess that they want that length for the run game, but at the same time, man, it was a block party out there. Sam Pendleton was just bodying dudes left, right, and center. And then the entire attitude of the offensive line. They were jaw jacking in the trenches. I've seen Hurd push a guy. I love that. Sam Pendleton running over to pick up Joey after the scramble. That's what I need.
Yes,
That's what I need out of my
yes,
linemen.
yes.
And then just
Which
receivers and tight ends. Obviously, there's a lot to work on, but I'm happy with what we got, to put it to you like that.
I'm gonna say something real quick, Corey, and I'm gonna let you go. See, um, I love Dylan Sampson so much. I'm talking like level million as far as how much love I have for D Samp. But I like this so much better, and it's because there was never a time that any of those guys were tired. Like it was like, let me get 6 plays, let me get 8, let me get 5. And those guys were running hard, bro. 247 was it? Or 257 on the ground? What was it? Yeah, yeah. Yep, it was. Rushing oh, 493 total yards of offense, evenly split, literally 247 and 247. So that was beautiful. Star Thomas obviously led the running back room with 92 yards. Star got a little juice, y'all. Star got a little bit of that little Dylan Sampson, little Louisiana to him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's got a little something extra. Deshaun Bishop is a dog, bro. He's consistent. I think that's the difference with Deshaun Bishop and the other two. Why I would probably say Deshaun Bishop is RB1 is he's so consistent with how he approaches every rep. Like no swag on the field at all. The boy came out there like Barry Sanders, no gloves, no nothing. He said, I'm here to just play. And he really showed me everything I need to know about what he's going to be all year. Peyton Lewis, you can tell like he's going to have a few games where he just goes off. You know what I'm saying? Like you can tell like he only got 8 touches and that's all he needed like to let me know like, all right, dude, I know who you're going to be. Obviously I talked a little bit about the wide receivers a little earlier. I am happy with those guys because I haven't seen a wide receiver burn a corner like Braylon Staley did in 2 years, literally. And I know you're like, well, what about Dante Thornton? Nah, Dante's burning was not being burnt. Them was normal post routes where we were getting it to him early, and then he did what he had to do, right? But Braylon Staley from the release point burned. I'm talking like burn that corner. And so I think you got to remember and understand this was also those guys' first time starting at that position, not Brazel. And that's why I think Brazel had a great game. Like Brazel really impressed me because he had a touchdown call back, which bogus call.
Yeah.
He had a touchdown call back, but then also the jump ball that they threw on the first drive, Joey threw in a jump ball. Joey just sailed it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like if Joey puts that in a decent place, that's a touchdown because Brazel had the guy beat. So I'm excited about that room, and I'm very excited about these tight ends. Once we open up that playbook and see kind of what they want to do with him specifically, I think it could get really, really wicked. But C2, what's your overall thoughts offensively outside of Joey Aguilar?
Yeah. Do you want my like scores by position group, or do you want me to save that for later?
Yeah, you can go for that. That's fine. I
Sure.
didn't even I have scores for position group, but I was not prepared. So go for it.
That's all right. Yeah, so I worked through most of the beginning of the game, but I went back and watched it this morning before church and then before the show. So the three-headed monster running back wise, I give them a 9 out of 10. The only reason it's not a 10 out of 10 is I thought Dwayne Morris, which he's a true freshman. This is not knocking him at all. I think he'll be fine. He was a little hesitant to hit the holes the few runs he got. O-line, I gave an 8. I thought they did really well, but there were some periods in the third quarter where the right side looked like it collapsed a little bit. And I know it was a makeshift line. So, again, we'll be fine. I gave Staley a 9. I didn't feel like it was fair to rate him with the other wide receivers who.
Wait, you got these? I was like, I was about to say, wait, you did these guys individually, or he just took Braylon
No.
Staley out of the group?
Look, Braylon Staley played so well, he didn't deserve to be rated in with the other ones. And I think that's fair.
crazy.
The other
I
wide
can't
receivers.
complain. I can't complain.
Other wide receivers, I gave a 7. I think Brazel was the highlight of the rest. And then Matthews, again, he's got to make some more of those catches. I thought there were also a couple times he was about to get open for something big, but a penalty or something. Tight ends did really well. Blocking, I would love to see them more involved in the passing game. I think we'll see that more later. I think we are kind of saving that. But here's what I'll say, and I may ruffle some feathers with this. I'm sorry if I do. Our three-headed monster is incredible. I think, personally, D-Bish could be better than Sampson. Now, he's not going to have a better year statistically because we leaned into Dylan Sampson. He was our offense last year. But the reason I say that is this version of D-Bish with this extra muscle mass, this extra strength is like this perfect balance of quickness and strength. And then he can also catch the ball out of the backfield on screens. He can also come out of the backfield on a pass and catch it and go. He definitely deserves to be DB1, and he just really impressed me. And then Star, and I don't know how people are going to stop us running the ball, if I'm being honest, unless they just put like 14 players on the field on defense every play.
I mean, let's go even further. Now we're a factor in the pass game.
Mm-hmm.
The screen on 3rd and long, the Joey Aguilar making a football play in the third quarter to get it to Star Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Boys, they're a threat now in all levels. They can pass block, they can run the football, and they can catch the football. Those are the 3 things that you desire in backs. And we've not been able to do that. And you could call it coaching, you could call it scheme, you could call it preventative injury. Like, what is it? I don't know. But I'm just telling you now, we are in a good place with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And something else that I loved, I think it was middle of the third quarter, but we went 12 personnel and we brought everybody in tight. And we ran a screen out of that. It was like a little tight end leak screen. I've never seen that in this playbook. And I don't know if that was Halsey or Hype or whoever was up in the box, but that was a beautiful play call. And there were a lot of sets like that. But that just really, really impressed me. But I got one more thing to say about Joey if we're ready to jump forward.
Let's do it.
So I'll go after you.
Okay. There was one play from Joey that it took to sell me on him. And it wasn't the long ball to Braylon. It wasn't when he took off running in the first quarter for like 40 yards. At the top of the third quarter, we were in the red zone. And Joey drops back, and he's looking to his right. And it's Mike Matthews on a little out route. And it's there, but Lance Hurd's getting beat behind him. So what does he do? He takes off out of the pocket, and he rolls to his left. While he's rolling to his left, he keeps his shoulders directly with the end zone so he can make a pass. And sure enough, he finds Star Thomas, and it's a touchdown. How many times last year did the quarterback who will not be named would stare down his first read? He would roll out to the right looking like a sprinter, not worried about keeping his shoulders able to make a throw, and then he would turn and he would just lob one crossbody halfway across the field, and 9 times out of 10 it was intercepted or dropped.
Hey, he would also do this.
The offensive line, Dylan Sampson, just so strong at the point of contact. Nico off play action, taking a shot downfield, got a receiver, but he overthrew Brew McCoy.
That is literally the perfect transition into the last thing I wanted to say about Joey. Because when we look at last year, the one thing you could say about Nico is he didn't have a whole lot of interceptions. And there's a reason for that, is because he overthrew people by 10 to 15 yards. So the person covering them didn't have a shot at it either. And I guess that's good in a way. Every pass that Joey was off on, he was off by a yard or less. And
and I mean, even with going there, it's not to interrupt you, but even what you're saying though, like, or it was just like inches, and football is a game of inches, right? Like the ball to Mike Matthews, it was low and out, but Mike's both hands were on it. The ball to Brazzell, right in the chest, that's a drop. But then the ball to Ethan Davis was a little tall, but both hands are on it. But like, we can be better, right? And so I'm following what you're saying.
So what I'm saying on that is, one, it's a minor adjustment he needs to fix. It's not trying to teach someone how to not overthrow people by a third of the freaking field. But I do think until that adjustment is made, it may lead to a couple interceptions in like big games with like Georgia, because there's going to be times where it's a 50-50 ball. And we've got to be okay with that as a fan base. So I better not see people coming out here talking crazy out the side of their mouth about Joey with interceptions when he's going to have more interceptions than the other guy, because he's more accurate than the other guy.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is when he misses, you said it, like, it's not much, but he always misses away from the DB. He misses away from the DB. It's either going out to the sideline or it's going over everybody's head where nobody can catch it. You can't teach that better.
Yep.
I guess we're locked up.
I guess so. Well, Dylan, you want to move on to defense? We'll just keep it going until he gets back. Oh, there he is.
I'm back. I'm back.
It's that hotel Wi-Fi.
hey. Yeah, it is that hotel Wi-Fi. But I mean, here, let me see what's up in this chat real quick. Stash Man in the chat says, Joey looked very comfortable in the pocket. Have not seen that since Hendo 22. I hate to compare everything to Hendon, but that's just the best version of a quarterback that we've seen in this offense. And so it's so hard to not point things that we're seeing as characteristics of Hendon in Joey, because one thing, like we talked about it, boys, age, same maturity level. And honestly, boys, Joey feels a little bit more confident and calm than Hendon did. I could be tripping when I'm saying that, but that's what I saw. What they said, dang, kicking up that BVS. Why? What you talking about?
He was talking about the clip you showed of that overthrow.
That boy is trash. Anyways, okay, boys, with the last few that we got, man, I know we're 30 minutes in. We ain't even talked about the defense yet. And that's probably the most, obviously, offensively, there are things we need to clean up. Obviously, from Joey, a little bit more consistent in those screen game, a little bit more consistent on the sideline to sideline balls. I think they looked great for most of the time, but we can always get a little bit more consistent getting those in the bread basket, because what I've realized with Heupel is he's only throwing screens because they're an extension of the run game. When they got 6 or 7 in the box, he's like, well, let's just get it outside and see what they can do with it, right? It's not because we're just a screen merchant because I don't trust you, like he really didn't with Joe and Nico, right? But you can tell there's a level of trust with Joey because I think he just understands football, like understanding the game at its simplest form. He can do that. And so that's why he's getting more plays called that kind of better suit him. And I love that about what Heupel and Halsley did for Joey is I didn't see him feel pressed once, meaning I didn't see him in his head like, can I make this throw? Is this the right play? Like they called the game perfectly for him, and
Yeah.
I really love that. But defensively, let's dive in a little bit. Our defense played great to start the game, and then we went young, and we went young way too early, and it really pissed me off. I'm just going to call a spade a spade. It pissed me off. I did not understand why we thought that was the smartest thing to do, being up only 17. We're literally playing twos and three, not even twos. The twos are, we're playing threes with up 17 people.
Yeah.
And if we want to talk about Syracuse a little bit, yes, their offensive scheme worked. And they spread you out and they dink and dunk you. They didn't have one ball thrown in the air for deeper than 27 yards. They didn't hit shots downfield. A, because they didn't have time, but B, because literally the defensive backs played so well and had them boys strapped. Colton Hood. Yes. Colton Hood, strap. Ty Redmond, strap. Your Dylan's favorite Ricky Gibson got burnt, but and we got a PI on that, which that was kind of trash. I didn't think that was that release. If you watch that play again, though, Ricky didn't get beat because of positioning at all. It was legitimately middle of the route. The guy kind of gave him a little and it kind of looked like he was going to run a comeback. And so Ricky bit the comeback a little bit and had to be like, oh, shoot, he didn't run a comeback. So defense, to me, there are still a lot of characteristics that I liked, but there are a ton of things we have to get better at and clean up. And I want to say this before I pass it to you, C2. There were times in this game where we completely left the middle of the field wide open. And let me say this. Let me explain, though. I almost think it's bait. And let me tell you why. I'm dead serious. I almost think that it's bait to just put on film, because I'm like, I really know Tim Banks is not an idiot. Like, this is not something that he characteristically does. Like, but when they're going empty and you're literally pushing your Mike linebacker to an outside linebacker play, like, this is pure bait for film, because he knows what Georgia's going to do in 2 weeks. That's all they're going to try to do. Slants to Zach Branch, over the top crossers to Oscar Delp and the other lucky kid. Like, I think this was film bait. I don't think this was like, hey, we're just going to, this is what I want to run because I think this is going to work. No, I think they literally was like, no, just play your zone, do this, because they didn't want to show anything, any coverages as far as leaving the middle of the field, because God Almighty, some of those, like, legitimately, boys, like, you're like, why, where's the mic? And it had to be bait. I mean, it's a smart thing if so, because it had to be.
I don't know if it was bait. So these grades are based on it not being bait. I'll just throw that out there. D-line overall, I gave a 7. I thought they played really well, but I thought we rotated a lot of young guys in. I'll touch on that a little bit more in a second. Again, I rated a couple players separately from their position group. So Redmond and Hood, I gave an 8.5 out of 10 because mostly because there were a couple times Redmond got beat, which is completely understandable. He's super young, but otherwise, if Ricky Gibson isn't careful, he's going to lose his spot, not just to Hood, but also to Redmond, and he's going to be our 4th cornerback when Jamad comes back. But if Jamad, Hood, and if Hood and Redmond are as good as they played yesterday, and we end up with Jamad, Hood, and Redmond out there, okay. Other cornerbacks, other cornerbacks, I gave like a 6.5. I thought
Jalen McMurray played good, bro.
Pause. I thought McMurray played really good in run defense and crashing down, but there were a few times, and maybe it was bait, there were a few times he was late adjusting his zone and got beat on a pass play. There were a few times that happened, and the other reason I would rate him a little higher than 6.5 individually, but then Boo is also in there, and Boo I didn't think played.
He was horrible.
He didn't play well at all. Gibson I gave a 4. Farouk, 8.5 out of 10. He was by far the best safety I saw out there. And then the rest of the safeties, I was kind of torn between like a 6.5 or a 7. I thought they played pretty well, but there were a few plays where I think what was happening with us getting beat deep is because we went so young. Not deep, but beat over the middle, is because we went so young. That communication between the linebackers and the safeties when we were handing off our zones was not there, because every single time that happened, we weren't in man, we were in zone. Spillman was late coming out one time and got beat. He's also super young. He'll get there. But other times it was just, there was this gap in between the linebacker zone and the safety zone where there wasn't really communication on where they expected that pickup to be. And I think that's because we had younger linebackers in that weren't necessarily used to having to communicate that, because the linebacker spot is who's communicating to the rest of the defense typically. That's what I attribute it to. However, I didn't like it because it stressed me out in the game, but I do like that they put guys in that were young, maybe not as deep as we went. I don't know if I would have gone third,
Right.
But I think we're going to have to rotate a lot in some of these big games we've got coming up with Georgia and a couple other big games this season. And I would rather us make those mistakes against Syracuse and start building that chemistry here than have to deal with it later.
I agree. I also think this, and Dylan, I'm going to come to you on the defensive side of stuff, but I think this was a big reason why as well. Mucho Boomin in the chat says injuries on the defensive line hindered us. You notice when Jax went down early, that's when Rodney Garner started to say, let me throw in a deeper rotation of guys that I didn't necessarily want to see play today this early, but he knew he couldn't get Bryson Easton injured. He knew he couldn't get, like, even Nathan Robinson played great minutes in the second and third quarter, but you didn't see him much in the fourth. Nathan Robinson, brother, Dylan, you told me about that kid, dude, and I will never forget it. You said, if he can stay healthy, watch out for Nathan Robinson. That dude, and he was a converted defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's playing nose tackle, literally blowing it up, bro. And I was like, this dude, I was like, look, I said Nathan Robinson, because you know he's from Country, Georgia. I said, that boy got redneck strength, bro. Like, I'm talking about the strength that when he grab you, boy, you know he been pulling hay and tractors his whole life, boy.
I've already got a nickname for him, too, because,
and
this is the last thing I'll say before I throw it over to Dylan. Because literally, I forget which D lineman it was that went down. As he went down, one of the commentators was like, and they don't have depth at defensive line. They don't have much depth there. I think it was like 2 plays later is when Nathan Robinson came in and blew up the play that
fumble
may have been, it wasn't the fumble, it was a sack. And then the next drive, he comes in and does the fumble that Colton Hood returns for a touchdown. So I'm going to call him Nate We Ain't Got No Depth Robinson from here on out for this season, because I just don't understand not doing any research on the game you're going to cover on national television. It's just wild to me. But anyway,
it doesn't
off my soapbox.
Dylan, defensively, man, where we at?
Yeah, looking at the line, I was really happy at the start of the game because we were breathing down Angeli's neck the whole first half, but we started dropping guys. Moy went down. Nathan Robinson went down twice, actually. And then you started to see that rotation get deeper and deeper. And we had guys like Jamal Wallace, who was a JUCO product, take the field. There was one guy that did not take the field, and I made note of this, and it was the transfer, Josh Snell. So that makes me wonder, is he ready, or are we saving him for something coming up down the road? Either way, I was happy with the D-line. I understand why we went deep. Linebackers, Arian Carter, he's about to be all SEC if he plays like that.
Easy.
He's a freak. Jeremiah T-Lander, too. I feel like he made a big step from where he was last year. He still isn't a top-end athlete, but realistically, we don't need you to if Arian's going to play like that all year. So, young guy. Oh, and one more thing. There was a play call, I believe it was second quarter, where Arian Carter came on a delayed blitz. Smoked Angeli. What does that remind you of? 2022 Orange Bowl. Aaron Beasley, Kate Klubnik. When have we seen the defense do that in the last 2 years since?
Bro.
Nowhere.
You haven't. You haven't.
This is why I love it, dude, because we have personnel now. We can do stuff like this. It makes me so happy to see that. And then obviously the young guys got in. I did make note Jordan Burns didn't play a snap, and that kind of worries me.
And he wasn't dinged up, was he?
No, I don't believe so. But that kind of makes me wonder. And Perlotti didn't play either, so I'm thinking it's kind of the same thing where they know their run fits, but once you throw them out there in coverage, they're just running around like a chicken with their head cut off. So if I had to place a bet on it, that's what I'm guessing. Because we saw Harmon play. He got 4 tackles. He looks legit.
Yeah.
And Edwin Spillman,
That's a
too.
big freshman, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Godly,
For anybody
dude.
that doesn't remember, that's the one that flipped from Alabama to us. But Edwin Spillman, I like what I saw, but at the same time, there were some plays where he was struggling passing guys through zones. And for young linebackers, that is a very hard thing to do, to pass a guy through, because you've still got to, even if you're passing this receiver through, like he did with the guy the Boo was on, he was passing him through another zone. And sure enough, he released the ball right when he passed him through.
Yeah.
And it's just tough, but that comes with experience. And I expect that to get better as the season goes. DBs. I'm fine with letting Willie Martinez take whatever corner he wants to in the portal.
Yeah, let him work.
This is 2
Let
years
him
straight.
cook.
This is 2 years straight where he has found an all-star in the portal. And so Colton Hood, if he plays like that all year, we got 2 corners going first round at the end of the year.
And that sucks.
Yeah. It sucks, but it's also a great thing, because when's the last time we had a 5-star cornerback commit?
Been a long time.
Yeah, you see 2 guys go pro out of the same secondary, you're going to pay attention to them. But Colton Hood, great. Ty Redmond, great. Ricky Gibson, I have my issues with him, obviously, as Ruck pointed out earlier, but he wasn't bad, but he wasn't great either. I feel like I need to see a little bit more out of him. Idris Farouk, he looks like a center fielder out there, dude. You want to talk about
He had 2
area?
picks, man. He had 2 picks. He
Yeah,
should have had
just
2
finish.
picks.
Just finish the catch. That's all I'm asking you.
Yeah.
And the
But-
way he went and high pointed the ball, it didn't even look like a safety, bro. I was like, this dude is a receiver. Like
Yeah.
the way he went to go high point both of those that he dropped. But go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I said it. He looks like a center fielder. He's just got that range of motion where he can go from here to here, and you want to see me do it again? Like, that's how fast it is. But
Yeah. Real
other than that, Andre Tarrantine, he was a liability this game. Liability. I mean, we've always had our issues with him tackling downfield, but even in coverage now, he just looks lost. I don't know what that is. But and then we got star Jalen McMurray. He seems like the real deal. Boo Carter, I don't know what your issue is, big dog, but you need to figure it out, because we've already had our issues with voluntary workouts, skipping out on that, the drama, everything else. Did you play like trash because you were doing all that disciplinary work, or did you play like trash because you're still being Boo and wanting to play celebrity more than football player?
And I think that's part of what it was too, what you just said, because one of the plays that that they threw, I think it was to their running back that went for a first down. It might have been the 4th and 10 play. I'm not sure. But Angeli was rolling out to his right, and instead of staying with his halfback, covering him while still keeping contained, Boo decided, I'm going to go get a sack. I'm going to go hit this quarterback and be the hero, make a big play. But because of that, we gave up a first down. Like, just do your job.
Yeah, that's what
Sorry
I
to
think his
interrupt.
main issue was. He's playing way too aggressive. I feel like he's trying to prove everybody wrong, because even in another play, he had Angeli dead to rights. He got hands on. It was a sack all day long. And what happened? He took it too fast. He slipped right off of him. Angeli got the pass. First
Who
down.
was that?
Boo.
See, yeah, that should have been a sack, bro.
100%.
Also happened once to Josh Josephs, but it was just because he took a bad angle. But he played so well all game, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Not to switch it up, but my man Mucho Boomin in the chat says, I hate to ask now, but how we feeling about that Bama game now? If we can run the football, we having fun all fall. Listen, y'all, if y'all watch this show for any amount of time, especially since June 1st when we kicked everything back off for the fall season, y'all have heard me say, I do not believe in Kalen DeBoer. I genuinely have no belief in him. I look at him, he don't even look like he's supposed to be there. I look at him communicate to players, he don't even look like he knows what to say. I know that he's won in his past, but I have also said this. He has not won anywhere like Alabama. And now do people believe me? Finally. And look, let me give FSU their flowers. I knew they wasn't going to be trash. You could not be worse. And Tommy Castellanos is one of them ones, bro.
Yeah.
He is a dog. And if people would just, I think here's the realization for my Alabama people. This is what it feels like to be average. Y'all are still good, but you're just not great anymore. And it is what it is. Like, y'all are a good team. Like, I would say Tennessee is a good team that can surprise people. Alabama's they're just a good team again. And they're going to win, 8 to 10. Potentially, they can still win 10 games, I think. But I really have them more at 9 again. I really do. And I think there's 6 more games that they could lose this year, literally. Because if they play like that and quarterback play is like that, nah, bro. They're worse without. They're worse than they were with Milroe, bro. Yeah. Because Ty Simpson can't run. That boy out there looking like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, here's what I'll say about the Bama game. We've seen Bama start slow before and get it right later. They typically didn't lose. In fact, one of the stats they shared was Nick Saban lost in his whole time there, I think, 2 games to unranked opponents, and this is Kalen's 4th in his time there, lost to unranked opponents. But if they play half as bad as they played against Florida State, we're gonna come out of Tuscaloosa with a win. Is just how it is. And one more point of clarification, just Dylan and AJ Ruck as we were talking. For the record, I don't think McMurray played bad at all. I just think he was worse in pass coverage. He was way better when he was either rushing the quarterback or stopping the run. But again, some of that is being new to the system, being new to the zone, and that lack of communication. I'll say the same thing for Boo that I said for help me out, Dylan. Who is it? Why's my mind blank?
McMurray.
Gibson. Said the same thing for Boo that I said for Gibson. If he's not careful, he's going to end up splitting time at best with McMurray at the star position. And he's got the same issue that other quarterback has, where it's not talent, it's mentality. If you don't have the mentality to go out there and do well, it doesn't matter what you can do physically at all.
Yeah. Going back to Alabama just for a second, I can tell when a team is just very poorly coached. And you want to see poor coaching, go look at Alabama last night. That is the least physical team in the SEC that I have seen in a very long time. And Kentucky played Toledo. So, I mean, I don't know the kid's name, but there was a play. Number 18, linebacker for Alabama.
Hubbard.
This poor kid, Bray Hubbard, that's his name. It's like an outside zone to the left, and he's on the right side of the field, and he is jogging from the time the ball is snapped. He is jogging to the left side of the field. If you don't want to play, don't play. We will leave you in Tuscaloosa if I'm the head coach. You don't want to play football? Don't play football, brother. It don't matter to me. And then other than just the absolutely getting whipped in the trenches, there was something that I'm going to discuss on Alabama Week that me and C2 talked about in the group chat last night. And if they don't correct it now, it's wraps when they come.
Yeah. I can't wait. For that. Overall, boys, like it was a good night, right? It was a good day in Atlanta. You win 45-26 with a lot of things to clean up, offensively, defensively. But could you really ask for anything else with this brand new roster, all the turnover, all of the lost juice that people think that Tennessee has lost, all the naysayers saying that we can't do this and we can't do that. Like, final thoughts leading into, obviously it's ETSU week, but what are your final thoughts in the Vols victory from last night?
You can take it first, Dylan.
You will see the most growth in a football team from week 1 to week 2. And that's all I want to see. I just want to see a little bit of growth. The plays are there. We've added so many new things. I can understand why some of the young guys were busting coverages or anything like that. I can understand it. We just need to get a little bit better. That's all I'm asking. If we're just a smidge better, we're beating Alabama, we're beating Florida, and we're giving Georgia a run for their money in 2 weeks.
Yeah, first I want to say I got to give Syracuse their props. I mean, some of how successful they were was the young guys we rotated in, but they were way better than I thought they were going to be, and that just shows Fran Brown can develop talent and coach his tail off. I don't know how long he'll be at Syracuse because I think a bigger program is going to come calling sooner rather than later.
I agree.
On offense, standout players for me were Joey, Staley, and any of our top 3 running backs. I mean, I couldn't pick one between the 3 of them. And then on defense, our best players to me were Hood, Redmond, and Farouk. And to have 2 true freshmen in that group of 3 that I'm saying were standouts, and maybe not our best players, but the ones that surprised me the most or the ones that kind of stood out to me the most, because I knew Arion Carter was going to be good. I knew T-Lander was going to be good. But the fact that Farouk was covering on Turrentine's side of the field, helping him out more as a true freshman, says, 1, all I need to know about Turrentine right now, and 2, all I need to know about Farouk. I think I did have us as like an 8-4, 9-3, but if we improve from what we did this game, 10-2 is definitely not out of reach, and possibly more.
Here's where I'm at. Am I happy with the win? Yes. Am I happy with the performance overall? Yeah. I think with everything, every game is going to present its own challenge. Every game is going to present something new that we're going to be like, oh, we need to work on that. And that's just the mark of a great football team. When you have things to work on and you work on it and you execute, you're becoming great. You're not just getting better. You're becoming great. And I have trust that that's exactly what Heupel, Tim Banks, Joey Halzle, those 3 specifically are going to go and do this week, starting tomorrow. The coaches started today, but I think tomorrow when they get in there in the film room together and then they start diving into ETSU, the work will begin to get better. And that is probably the most important thing for me that makes me happy is like, man, I'll take the beat down. I love the beat down. I love the offensive explosion. I love what we could potentially see this year from the offense, because if that was game 1, that thing is going to get that it might get wicked, brother, by game 6. Mm-hmm. So before we wrap, I do want to answer this. Jonah Hudson in the chat says, are you guys surprised about the Arch Manning performance? I think general consensus from all the guys, including Sella and Turner, is no, not really. I think we knew that. I never thought that we thought that the stage was too big, but I thought that the hype was too much. You know what I mean? Like, he's a good football player and he's going to be really, really good. I really believe that. But that's a big game. And if he would have played 10% better, they would have won, because that was not a good game.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that was a rock fight from start to finish. But Arch is a weird one because he's been able to sit for 2 years. You would expect more out of a kid that's been sitting for 2 years to do what he did. But going into the 4th quarter, he had 38 yards and an interception. You can't have that. It doesn't matter if you're playing Ohio State or the 85 Bears. You can't have 38 yards of passing going into the 4th quarter. But, yeah, I feel like he does have the potential. I mean, he's obviously got all the hype in the world. But this is what happens when you hype somebody up to levels that they can't achieve. The kid is 20 years old. He's not Peyton Manning. He's not Eli Manning. He's not even Archie Manning. He is Arch. That is all he is. He's got to grow. He's got to learn. Peyton Manning leads. He's the NFL leader in rookie interceptions. Mm-hmm. He's also in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
The kids got to grow.
Great point. Great freaking point. Boys, man, what a night we had. I'm excited. I'm very excited, man. Football's back. I'm actually about to go and we're about to go tap into this little Notre Dame and Miami game. What's that score right now?
Let me look real quick.
I know
It's
just
7-0 Miami, which
nice.
I am pretty sure Miami's going to win that game.
Yeah, I'm excited to go and tap in and watch that one a little bit. But y'all, we are live tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. Gonna be a fun night. We're going to be going over who is ETSU. What can Tennessee expect from the ETSU Buccaneers? I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. Tennessee's gonna win the football game. But what do we want to see? We'll dive in a little bit to them. Just kind of what's their personnel? What do they like to run offensively? What do they do defensively? How well are they coached? What can we expect just as far as from a team like this being an FCS? Not really FCS. I guess they're Division I, but they're just playing in a much lower league than we are at this point. And you're paying them a lot of money to come and get their butts kicked. So what can we do? What can Tennessee do to grow, I guess, is what I've got for tomorrow. And then we'll dive in as well to just more of the talk. Josh Heupel's press conference is tomorrow at around 12:15 Eastern. So we'll dive into the press conference as well tomorrow night. And so, yes, another great week of Straight Up Tennessee. Thank y'all for tapping in with us tonight, man. It's been a fun night. I love getting on here, even while your boy's on vacation. I know y'all like, well, why you got this big old draper behind you? Y'all, this is a lobby of a hotel. But this is where the best Wi-Fi was, because if I did this in my room, I would have been like, hey, it's straight up to that. So, C2 Dylan, man, y'all got anything before we wrap tonight and get some shut-eye before we go live tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's a great year to be a Volunteer and a terrible year to be a Bruin.
We didn't even talk about it. We'll talk about that dummy tomorrow. Oh God, y'all, man, thank y'all for tapping in with us, man. We love you guys. We appreciate the support. Apple and Spotify, y'all know what to do. Rate it 5 stars. Facebook, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Go ahead, like the video, like, comment, blow it up, share it with your auntie, your granny, your grandmama, whoever you need to. You already know what it is, man. It's Straight Up Tennessee, baby. We'll see you live tomorrow night for the Who Is ETSU episode.